This is your mom's favorite show, Beer and Chill podcast. My name is Jan.
And I'm Craig.
And we would really appreciate if you would stop by and listen to our show. We are talking about interesting facts about your favorite movies, games, and TV shows.
For example, did you know that Christopher Lee and Ian McKellen had a real-life beef because Christopher Lee wanted to play Gandalf in Lord of the Rings?
And many other great facts.
We hope you check us out and enjoy the rest of your show. Bye-bye.
What's your favorite scary movie?
They mostly come at night. Mostly.
What was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
Your suffering will be legendary, even in hell.
They're here.
Welcome, victims, to the Horr-Gasm podcast. Kill the lights, lock the doors, get comfy, and prepare for the sexiest and scariest podcast around. I'm Nick, and with me, as usual, is my co-host, Allie.
This is Halloween.
This is Halloween.
Yeah.
It's Halloween night.
Yay!
Day. Whenever you hear listen to this lovely podcast, it's Halloween. Halloween special number 2.
Happy Halloween.
It's like our annual Halloween special because
How can you miss Halloween?
yeah, like,
Right?
hey, why the fuck not? It's Halloween, one of the best, if not the best holiday of the year.
This is like the spooky, scary day of the year.
Yeah, totally.
It's very important.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
I love Halloween.
I'm drinking. We're talking. We're watching a scary movie. As
I'm
you
not.
should.
I'm not drinking yet. And you know what? I was gonna save it for. I might as well I'll say it now
Yeah.
because we haven't. We've kept this kind of quiet, and hopefully that this actually happens. Because we're going to be on the Beer and Chill podcast.
Yay!
And it's supposed to be a Halloween special for them. So while you listen to us, you can listen to them after or before. Whatever.
Oh, I didn't know that it was maybe I
It's
did
a Halloween
know it was
special.
a Halloween special. It's like maybe you did mention that one time, but I was like, I think we're doing spooky, scary talking. So
We are. This is before we're doing that recording, but
Awesome.
We'll find out what we're going to do. I'm just going to go wing it. And since
I
it's
that's
Beer
what
and
we
Chill,
do all the time.
since it's Beer and Chill, I'm going to drink.
And chill.
And chill and talk
Love it.
to
Yeah.
Jan and Craig about spooky, scary shit.
Well, I'm excited because I love listening to their podcast. Like I always enjoy listening to it. I listen to podcasts at work, obviously, and I just love listening to it. Like it's so laid back.
Oh,
and
it's so much fun.
Yeah, I just really enjoy like the topics they talk about. Like they just, I mean, obviously this is a couple weeks ago, but they just put out the Lord of the Rings one, their second Lord of the Rings episode. And it's so much fun. They were talking about the games and stuff.
And I remember playing those games.
Right? Oh, and they were talking about the Lego like
Yep.
Lord of the Rings games. And I was like, I have all of those. Like it was so much fun. Oh, fucking
And I
beautiful.
love their new theme song. Their opening theme song is great. And it's so because it's almost like the start of the Bullet Club theme in New Japan. And of course it is.
Yeah.
I love listening to Craig, listening to Jan, and most stuff like I know, and they got some stuff that I didn't know about though as well. Like their trivia is really good.
Yeah.
Like they get some really kind of hidden stuff that's no one ever talks about or mentions,
Which is great.
Yes.
Yay.
Like I'm excited to be on their podcast and drink and just bullshit my way through it because, yeah.
That's how I live my life. You literally just described my, if I ever put out a biography. Drink and bullshit your way through it. Biography of Alana.
And Nick. That's your mind too. Yes, totally.
Yay!
But since it's Halloween,
Ooh.
and the last episode that came out Thursday, I gave a big, heavy spoiler. Well, I mean spoiler, more of a...
Oh, yeah, we did.
Not even a spoiler. Well, if people didn't get it, then I did a horrible job. Or I did a good job. But, last year, we did...
Rocky Horror
Picture Show, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, we sure did.
And since it's Halloween, and we already did the remakes of Halloween 1 and 2 with our double Horr-Gasm, multiple Horr-Gasm.
Yeah,
We did. We did the multiple Horr-Gasm episode.
I was wondering why there wasn't a unicorn in this one. Isn't there a unicorn in, the second one? Or a horse?
A horse. Yeah, it was a horse.
Okay.
And since it's Halloween, we watched Halloween.
Yay!
And we're going to do that now annually. Every Halloween, as long as this podcast is going, we're going to do a Halloween movie.
Yes.
So we got...
We have a lot. Aren't there a lot
We
of
got
them?
this is going to last. We have to make this last until the whole Halloween series is done.
Yeah.
So that's like 8 or 9 movies. Maybe 10. I forget.
Perfect.
And there's also, during that time, there'll be at least 2 more being made.
Of course.
So, oh boy.
Let's do a decade. Let's do a decade.
We can do it. But no, yeah, we did Halloween, and there's a lot of debate on which is the best horror icon.
Okay.
You have Michael Myers, Freddy, and Jason. Those 3 are the top 3.
Right.
There's also Chucky,
I was
Pinhead.
going to say people throw like Chucky and Pinhead in there all the
but they're
time.
not quite up there.
Right.
Because they haven't had the wild success. As they've all had the movies, but for horror icons,
Yes.
Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers.
100%.
And not in
I
that
agree.
order. A lot of people stand behind saying Michael Myers is the top one.
Yes.
I guess up right now, as we are dropping this recording, Jason has the most kills, followed very closely by Michael Myers.
Interesting.
And they're saying, I guess, in the new one, Halloween Kills, when it comes out, I think next year.
Sure.
Apparently, Michael Myers is on a killing spree.
Well,
So he might take the...
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like he might take the top spot. Hey?
Yeah.
Well, he also has a like hand up because they've come out with like the last one was like 2018, wasn't it?
Yes.
And like Jason hasn't come out with like Friday the 13th hasn't come out for a movie in like a minute.
Yeah, the last one was
Wasn't it like
a remake.
2000?
It was a remake. The
Oh,
remake
you're
was,
right. It
the remake,
was.
The remake was
yeah,
the last.
You're absolutely right.
There were plans to make another Friday 13th, like sequel to that one,
Right.
but that fell through, sadly. Were they going to talk about his father and all that, but never happened. Sadly, and I wish it did. There were plans of making like found footage, like a la Blair Witch, but again, that fell through.
Nice.
I think now like they had a big fight over the rights,
Oh,
and I'm not sure who has it now.
yeah.
There's also talk of a Nightmare on Elm Street reboot.
Because the last reboot didn't do so good, hey?
No, you haven't seen that one yet, have
I
you?
haven't.
It's very. Some people like it, not many though.
Is it like a lot darker or a lot more serious?
It's yes,
Okay.
less slapstick. Although the very first Nightmare on Elm Street was very scary and straight laced,
Right.
and then after that he became more goofy and a lot more bitch.
Yeah, I was gonna say welcome to prime time.
Yes, yes. He became more just exaggerated.
Yes.
Jason always been kind of straight-laced and, I hack and slash, you die. And Michael Myers is just walk and chase you and stab.
Which is fine.
Yeah. And I don't, my of the 3, it's Jason.
Always. Me too. All day.
I think just because his evolution, his character, we actually kind of get a reason why he's doing it.
Yes.
And as the movies progress, his body's decaying.
Yes.
Like, he's not always kind of the same look. Like, the first time we see Jason, he has a hood over his head.
Right.
He doesn't even get the mask until the 3rd one.
Yes.
He doesn't. And
Well, in the first Friday the 13th, spoiler alert for first Friday the 13th, even though it came out a million years ago, it's not even Jason!
it's his mom.
It's his mother! Yeah, so that's, and that's, I think, for me, I went into it not knowing that. That was like the biggest twist for me.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
you have got to be kidding me. I've gone however long, 28 years of my life, 27 years of my life, not knowing that Jason wasn't even the original villain.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I know a lot of people forget about it too. Like,
Right.
yeah.
Wow.
I don't know, with Michael Myers, though, for me, he's super vanilla.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a reason. He doesn't have a rhyme or reason at all. He just, I live to kill. And that's it.
I don't always hate that, though. Like, I think
No.
of the Joker. It's the same way,
Joker's he's got backstory, though, too.
Right.
Like, he was, pick a backstory and that's it.
Right.
Um,
But, like, that's the thing is that, like, he's just, like, as somebody who doesn't really read the comic books, he's just a big question mark. And I
Yeah.
love that about him.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? And, like, I don't think, like, and, like, I get that human nature is always we want to know the why. That's 100%. Like, I listen, like I always say, to a lot of true crime. Everybody always wants to know the why. They want to dig into their childhood. They want to figure it out. You know, they want to know why they're so fucked up. And sometimes it's just because they are.
Yep.
Sometimes you just do things for no reason. And I think that that's scarier.
Like let's think of some of the actual biggest serial murderers
Sure.
or killers in the world. There's like Gacy.
Yep. John Wayne Gacy,
Yeah, yeah.
Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy,
Like some like what
Ed
was there,
Gein.
what was like Ed Gein is a perfect example. Why was he doing what he did? Why did he kill those women? Why did he sew up all their like nipples in a belt? Why did he have a skin suit made of other body parts or skin of different girls? I don't know if they ever got an answer. He just did because he wanted to.
Yeah, there's lots of, like, they always go into the childhood, and there's a lot of childhood issues, obviously. I just listened to one again today that was, like, very horrible about kids and stuff. But it's like it's creepy. But some of them, they just, like they won't talk about it at all.
No.
They will not talk about it. And it's, I don't know, it's awesome, that part. Not awesome, obviously, they're horrible people and blah, but, like, the way that they manipulate things, too. You know, like, I'm thinking, did you ever watch Mindhunter?
What's that about? I might have.
Where they, go talk to serial killers, and it's in the 70s, and they're building the profile.
No.
So it's just these two guys that go to, like, prisons, and they talk to serial killers and build it's when they're building the profiles, like how they profile serial killers and stuff. And it's like it's really fucked up because they, like, go and talk to these people, and, like, they're real people, like they do, like, Edmund Kemper and
Manson?
what's his face? Manson. Yeah, exactly. But, like, sometimes they just straight up lie to them, tell them what they want to hear because they get pizza or cigarettes or something when they come.
Of course.
And I'm like, that's so much more fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that you're, you know, so manipulative, so, like, these people are so messed up.
Yeah.
And it's scary. And I like to live in the world of rose-colored glasses where everybody's great and all the bad people are locked up. But, like, I'm also realistic and know that that's not true.
That reminds me of the first Adam Sandler movie at the end when they're going out trick-or-treating and, what's her name, asks Wednesday, and who are you supposed to be, Wednesday? I'm a homicidal serial killer.
Yeah.
They look like everyone else.
Yes.
Bingo.
100%.
Bingo. Like...
There are still, like, even I see it on TikTok, there are still people thirsting over Ted Bundy.
Yeah,
In
there's
2020.
there is a I don't say big. It's I don't know. I don't want to go by side. There is a group of people who idolize serial killers.
Yes.
I don't think they go as far as saying I'm going to go and reenact what they're doing.
Right.
But they look at what they've done and they. I don't want to say they appreciate either because they don't go on saying, you know, what they did was right.
Yeah.
But they're so fascinated and so enamored by how they went about things and how things worked out. Like, Manson was known for being extremely charismatic.
Yes.
And
100%.
I remember,
and preyed upon people who needed a home, a place to belong.
Yeah.
And, like, that's just as scary, right?
Totally.
Like, it scares the crap out of me. But, like, I'm totally one of those people that, like, I listen to so much true crime.
But you wouldn't, you know, think, oh, I should go and pick up where Gacy left off.
No. It's more like, I think of it, this is going to sound really stupid, but I think of it as educational.
Oh, I agree.
Being a young woman in, you know, 2020, I feel like I need to know all the ways to defend myself. And I think...
What better way to defend yourself than get in the head of the people who did this and know what they targeted, what were they looking for, and how you can make yourself look as least appealing to do that to as possible.
Well, I'm sure I've said this before. But I tell Jessica, if I ever die, can you clear my Google search history? Because all I do is Google serial killers. Because I'm like listening to a podcast. I'm like, I need to know what these people look like. So I'll Google it. And then I'm like, ah. Oh. And then you go on to Murderpedia and you see like all the crime scene pictures. And you're like, but yeah.
Now I know a few people like that.
Right?
I know Tanel is all about watching those stuff too, like you. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
It's cool how it's just, yeah.
Yeah, and I
what's
can't
about
even
it.
explain why. Like I know my mom got me into it.
And I was gonna say, Lori too. You know, she loved the
we used to
true
watch
crime
ID
books.
like it was going out of style. Like when I lived at home, we would wake up and watch it till sundown. Like honestly,
wow.
yes. Except unsolved ones. Unsolved ones always bug me. But you know why? Because as humans, we want to know what happened.
And that's
like-
why Unsolved Mysteries was such a big hit in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yes, because people want to know.
Yeah.
And there's this one, and I'll never forget it. It was on the ID network, and this guy, it was like in Nevada somewhere. It wasn't Vegas, but it was somewhere near there. Literally walks out his front door, down the end of his cul-de-sac, and just walks into the desert and disappears forever. And I watched that 11, 12 years ago, and I still think about it.
Creepy.
It bugs me.
You just want to go for a walk.
Now I'm mad again. Well, should we channel that anger into our review of Halloween?
I think we should.
Let's do it. Alright, so this week we watched Halloween, obviously. It's a 1978 movie. It's directed by John Carpenter and written by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill.
Yay, John Carpenter.
Love him.
Great
He's
director.
He's the thing, right?
Yes.
Good. I was like, I feel like I know John Carpenter.
And you know what? I just realized that during Halloween, they play The Thing from Another World, the original, which
Yeah. Oh, obviously.
This is before he did
Right.
the remake. Ooh.
He must have liked it, right?
That's one of the better ones out there.
I haven't watched it. I should have added that. Watched so many horror movies
Well,
lately. Oh my
I would like to try another Thing multi-Horr-Gasm.
Yeah.
I would like to.
We've brought it up a few times. We should.
We'll
I'll do a
try.
poll. Oh, let's do an Instagram poll.
I like that.
Future Alana, do an Instagram poll.
Yeah. So where did you first hear about the very first Halloween?
Where did I first hear about it? Well, I've always been a huge fan of Jamie Lee Curtis, and I feel like she talked about it one time, and I was like, she was in the original Halloween? Because again, Michael Myers is just one of those characters that's always been around, right?
Yep.
So I just was kind of like I don't remember the first time I heard of him, but I've seen the mask everywhere, obviously. And yeah, I think I looked it up after I found out that she was like the final girl in it. So, because obviously I wasn't born in 1978. So.
No. And this is a funny franchise because you get 1 and 2.
Yep.
And that kind of more or less ends the series. I haven't seen anything but like 1 the remakes, the newest one out. And that's all I've seen. I haven't seen any. I've not seen any of the other ones. I know what they're about, but I've never
Yeah.
watched them.
And I've only seen like until now. I've seen this one.
Yeah.
I've seen this one a couple of times. And I've seen the new ones obviously because we watched them for this. And I think that's it.
But like the timeline for Halloween is very weird.
Okay.
Like there's different different paths it takes. I guess like Halloween 1, 2, 4, 5, and then like Laurie dies, and then she's not dead, and she dies again.
Oh.
Like it goes off in very different ways. Like it's weird. It's like they're like we won't make money.
Yeah.
Let's just ignore these things and just go a different way.
Sure.
That's like with the new Halloween came out 2 years ago.
Yep.
They ignored from anything after Halloween 1.
Interesting.
Everything was ignored. The whole fact that this is spoilers for later movies. If you don't know this, come on. This is
Like I feel like I'm about to get spoiled here.
This is long enough. Spoiler hours, flapped in here.
Yeah.
Like she's his sister or something, like related. They're related.
Hey, I've heard that, and I've heard many people say that that's their least favorite part is when they tried to make them related. They liked it more when he was just. They don't care. They don't know.
He just wants to go and kill.
Right.
But why? But then why is he always targeting Laurie?
So is that why they added that to the Rob Zombie Halloweens? Is that why they added that aspect? Okay,
yes, because it was in the original series of movies that they're related, and he's trying to finish off his bloodline or something like that, or something along that lines. But it went different direction. And then Halloween 3 is a completely different movie on its own.
Right.
We talked about this earlier, how they decided, let's try and make it more of not a franchise, but
anthology.
an anthology, thank
Yes.
you. And have just different kind of things happen, have different events happen on Halloween.
Right.
And then realize, oh wait, this is not working.
People don't like it without. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, because I know when I first heard about Halloween 3, I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, Michael Myers, he's not in it. I'm like, what do you mean he's not in it? That makes no sense. It's Halloween. It's Michael Myers is the villain. He's the killer. Nope, it's not. So.
Yeah.
And that's always seen as also like the black sheep of the series is the one with Michael Myers, but has a Halloween name. Season of the Witch.
Right.
Which was weird.
Yeah.
But it's now become more of a cult following. It's gotten more well received now than it did when it first came out, and even 10, 15 years ago. But same with Alien 3.
I've seen a lot on Instagram about people really liking it. People always talk about H20.
H2O, yeah.
Sure.
Halloween, it's 20 years after the first one. Hence H2O.
Okay, because I've heard not great things about it, but I don't know. There seems to be a lot of hate for like the 5, 6, the 5th and 6th one.
Yeah.
But yeah. I haven't seen them, so I feel like I don't have a horse in the race.
I haven't seen them either. I've read about them. I forgot what they're about. I know is Michael keeps trying to kill someone.
Sure.
So I know Laurie's not in the ones 5, 6, or 7, or 4. I forget.
Sure. So she's in Halloween 1 and 2.
1 and 2, I think 4.
Okay.
And then she's kind of, gone. And they go in a different direction. And then they bring her back for H2O and one after.
Okay.
I think she dies in one of them, then she's back.
And she's definitely back for the 2018 one. Because I followed Jamie Lee Curtis on Instagram, and she was so excited.
You haven't seen that one?
No.
Oh, it's pretty good. I like that one.
Okay.
But people are really excited for Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. That's the name of the last two they're making.
Interesting. And it's going to come out 2021?
I think Halloween Kills is 21. Halloween Ends either 22 or 23.
Perfect.
Don't quote me because of the whole COVID release date shit.
Of course. Fucking Miss Rona is ruining it. Is ruining everything for us.
Ruiner.
God.
That's Spoiler Owl. Is the Rona.
Ugh.
As for me, I first heard about this again when...
Because you weren't born either.
No, this is way before my time. It was... I heard about it through my VHS snoopings at the rental store. Didn't really know what it was about.
Was it like immediately a hit?
No, I don't think so.
Interesting.
I know it was one of the more go-tos for horror movies.
Right.
But it never had a a draw to me because a
It
guy,
just didn't do it, hey?
white mask, knife.
Right. And that's literally it.
As opposed to Freddy with clawed glove hand and a screwed up face, or Jason with hockey mask and machete or any other weapons
Which is awesome.
and a very disfigured face. Michael is just normal guy, wants to kill.
Yeah.
It's, like I said, it's very vanilla, but it
Yeah.
works. But it works, and people love it because, again, keep it simple.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, and it works, and this works.
And it's such like it was like the blueprint for future slashers. Is
Oh,
I think
totally.
It's also like the nostalgia value, right?
Yeah.
And so when you watch it, you're like, yeah, I've seen this. But this was like the OG slasher serial killer stalking movie, you know?
I
And
agree.
has it aged as well? Probably not. But
It's
it's still
not-
fabulous.
Oh,
Like
yes.
there's almost no special effects, really. Right?
Maybe like the blood and gore makeup, but that's it.
But even that.
This is all prosthetics. This is
Yes.
all. There's no CGI. It was a thing back then.
Yeah. Other than the hair and the
This is
clothes.
this is a year after Star Wars, and Star
my
Wars
God.
was state of the art effects. Now it's all models and
Yes.
shit. Like nothing was computer generated whatsoever.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was just looking on IMDb and it says that it had a $325,000 estimated budget and it grossed $47 million.
whoa, that is huge.
That's massive.
So yeah, I guess it was a hit.
And it was only in USA, like the gross USA and worldwide like amounts are the same. So
That's crazy.
right?
Oh, so I guess it was a hit.
Yeah, like holy shit. But I think in like the 70s and 80s, these kind of movies were like the thing, basically, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
But also back then, people weren't as desensitized as we are now.
You're absolutely
So-
right.
Guy with a knife,
Chasing
you're
people.
chasing is scary for people.
Super spoopy.
And like I will, because I know we were going through the reviews and one guy gave it such a bad review because he's young and dumb, I think.
Yeah, I would
from
agree
what he
with
said,
that.
young teens don't need to be scary, but now it's lame. I'm like, well, no.
Yeah, the title was literally doesn't deserve the legacy at all. That's
Wrong.
so stupid.
I think it does.
Yeah,
Am I as big of a fan as other people? No.
right.
But it's still a great movie. It's a great horror movie.
I enjoy it every time I watch it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's the point of a movie, I always think. Like, it doesn't have to be the most thought-provoking, amazing, perfect effects ever. You just need to go in and enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do agree with this. One thing he said, though, in his review was that Laurie Strode is not a very strong heroine.
Right.
In the first movie, no, she was
Right.
not. She was freaked out, screaming, running. She protected the kids, yes. She fought back when attacked, but that's out of self-defense, and she was also terrified.
Right?
But
But I also think that that's a very human way to react.
you know what? Even comparing her to other famous heroines in scary movies like Sigourney Weaver's Ellen Ripley. In the first Alien, she was scared. She was running away. In the sequel, Aliens, she was tough.
Right.
She wasn't messing around anymore.
Right.
In Terminator, Sarah Connor started off as a young innocent girl, scared. At the end, she got a little tougher. Terminator 2, she is in a mental institution doing pull-ups, getting herself ready to fight.
See, and I find that one more akin to Laurie and Halloween more so than Sigourney Weaver, because I think Sigourney Weaver and Alien, right?
Yes.
Well, yes. I was like, what are we talking about? She's like a pilot or a Navy person or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, she's a woman with a career.
Yeah.
Whereas in Laurie's a high school student, which I think is why I relate her more to Sarah Connor, as in, you know, she's just a diner worker, a young girl.
That's right. That's a
Right?
good point. Yeah, I'll agree
Like,
with that.
she's just literally a high school student. Like, if somebody was stalking me right now and staring in my window, I would probably act the same way. I would try to
Yes.
hide. I'd grab my dog, because she's okay sometimes. And I would, like, grab my keys and fucking bolt.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's a very human response.
Fight or flight. Everyone has
Exactly. Yes.
it. And most people have the flight.
100%.
Not lots, but most of them, they would
Yeah.
run.
I ain't fighting.
some guys with a chainsaw, you win. I'm out.
Right?
I wouldn't last, even with a knife. It's just common sense.
Yes.
But yeah, I do agree with him saying now her first movie,
I agree.
she is not a strong woman. Now, when the newest Halloween came out, she is really trained. Like, basically
Like
from
she's
Halloween.
ready for this.
Yes, she's been waiting for all these years since the first one to get him back.
Yeah.
And without spoiling the movie, she has everything kind of, she's expecting it to happen. And she's not the scared, crying, whimpering girl that she was.
So obviously she's older. He's older as well,
Yes.
right? Like, is he like an old man?
Yep.
Interesting.
I think when you see him without the mask at first, he's like just all bearded up, long hair. Doesn't say a thing, but I think he's got long hair.
Because, like, okay, so if she's like, let's say 18 in this one, so in 78, right?
I think she's even younger. In movie-wise, I'm guessing 16, 17.
Sure,
So this
whatever.
is-
It doesn't
whatever.
matter. Yeah, let's say 16 then, for argument's
So this is
sake.
30, so she's in her 30, 40. She's like in her 50s, I guess. Let's say 50s, whatever.
Okay, so when she's 16, so then yeah, so 40 years later, yeah, right?
Yeah, so she'd be 56.
1978 to 2018. I can't math. Isn't that 40?
That's 40.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
7,
Yeah.
8, 9, 0, 1.
Okay, 40.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, so 56. So he's in his early 20s here.
20, so 40. He's in his 60s.
So he'd be 60s.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. That's crazy.
Yep.
Wow.
And he still wants to kill people.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. I don't think you
totally.
grow out of that. I mean, they try to make you believe that in the justice system, but I don't think some people, especially like if there was, somebody like Myers.
Yeah.
No. Right?
But they wouldn't let him out.
No, never.
Or he wouldn't get out without being shot on sight.
Do they ever really explain in this movie how he breaks out?
Nope.
Because they just like drive the car up. There's a bunch of like people wandering
Crazy
around.
people walking around in the rain. And
Yeah, and then he just jumps in their car and drives off, and that's it.
How do you learn to drive?
Yeah.
When there's
Wait a second.
There are a few plot holes in this movie, but whatever.
It doesn't matter.
I don't want to tear it apart. It's a good movie.
Yes.
It's
worth. I mean, we're obviously not the rating part yet, but I would recommend everybody watch this movie.
It's classic. It is classic
Such a
horror.
classic.
It's horror.
It really
royalty.
is like the blueprint OG slasher movie.
Yep.
If you like cheesy movies, this is the one.
Yeah.
And it's pretty serious.
I didn't even say it's cheesy.
Yeah, I
There's
agree.
not much cheese at all in this.
Yeah.
It's like the kills are pretty brutal. It's nothing too exaggerated. It's
Yeah.
good.
I agree 100%.
It's good. You know what? We should maybe get more go to the characters. We're just kind of talking about it all the time.
Right.
I could talk about this all night, to be honest. Just because I
Right.
like this movie. It's a good movie.
It's fabulous.
I just don't have the time for it. So, in Halloween, we have Donald Pleasance playing Dr. Sam Loomis.
Yes, Mr.
the-
Loomis.
The great Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode.
Yep.
Nick Castle as Michael Myers / The Shape.
Oh, yeah.
But when he gets unmasked, it's played by Tony Moran.
Okay.
And we have Will Sandon as age 6 Michael Myers.
Cool.
PJ Souls as Linda Vanderklok.
Mm-hmm.
Nancy Kies as Annie Brackett. Charles Cyphers as Sheriff Lee Brackett. Kyle Richards as Lindsay Wallace.
Yep.
Brian Andrews as Tommy Doyle. John Michael Graham as Bob Sims. And that's the main characters.
Yay.
There's other background characters, but nah.
Meh.
Yeah, meh.
Meh.
Sorry,
Yeah.
everyone else. You weren't on the movie long enough to be important
For sure.
at all.
Fun. They were all good. It's basically a bunch of teenagers, Dr. Loomis, and a sheriff. That's basically it.
And
Couple of kids.
smoking the reefer.
Couple of kids. Couple of wee kids.
Yeah, it's very, very high schoolish, teenagey.
Yes.
Yeah,
I watched a movie today, actually. I think it was called The Witch House. And it was about, like, obviously a bunch of high school students that go to a haunted house, and oh my god, it's actually haunted. Oh my god.
Oh no, it's
And I did
spooky.
not enjoy it.
Oh.
Like, it was just like I was ready for it to be like, I don't know. But just for some reason, the teenage movies don't hit anymore for me. Like, but I could watch this over and over.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They just, I don't know. Maybe it's just like, and I feel old. We were already having this talk today, how I feel old and you feel old.
Feeling
But I
my
was
age.
like, kids these days with their cell phones and their service and not paying attention to what's around them.
Oh, that's the thing. This is also if anyone was like a Gen Z or Zetter
Yes.
person, they would like watch the movie and go, "What's that?
Yeah.
Where's your cell phone?"
Right.
Like every
Like-
phone, and this is always in the movies. I don't think
Right.
I've ever actually did it. When someone calls, if you want to walk around the house with the phone, you pick it up and hope their cord is long enough, and just walk around holding on to everything.
I miss, like, landlines. Can I say?
Landlines were nice.
They really were. I like them. There's just something comforting about talking on a landline. I don't know why. I think it's just from where I grew up. When I grew up.
I grew up
The
with
90s.
I grew up with the old ringy phones, the one
Yes.
and because of that, whenever I don't hear it anymore, thankfully, but when I'd hear it in the night, when we get a late night call, I would bolt out of bed.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Why? I don't know, because it didn't scare me, but just, it would startle me awake, and
Yeah.
I'd be up, and I'd have to go answer.
Aw.
And it bugged me. It's stupid people calling in late night, early morning.
Rude.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. Well, we should probably do the plot.
Let's do the plot.
Yeah. We're talking so much about it, we may as well
Well,
do
it's
it
Halloween.
quick. I feel like everybody kind of knows what it's about, but super quick synopsis.
Michael Myers, stab, stab, stab.
Yeah, Michael go stab, the end. Michael go stab fallout window.
The
He
end.
no die? There's my rundown.
Well, I'll go to the more detailed route. On October 31st, 1963, on Halloween night in the fictional small town of Haddonfield, Illinois, 6-year-old Michael Myers inexplicably stabs his older sister Judith to death with a kitchen knife
Yeah.
in their home.
Because boobs.
Because boobs.
Yeah.
There's boobs.
That's the real villain here. Nudity.
No. Nudity is never the villain. It's the hero. And he is incarcerated in Smith's Grove Sanitarium. 15 years later, on October 30th, 1978, Michael's psychiatrist, Dr. Samuel Loomis, Samuel Loomis,
I like
and his
Loomis.
Loomis?
Yeah, he sounds fancy.
Yeah.
Like, I think because I think of Harry Potter and Lumos. Shout out Jan and Craig.
Poor Craig. He hates Harry Potter. Dr. Samuel Loomis and his colleague Marion Chambers arrive at the sanitarium to escort Michael to court. Michael escapes by stealing their car and returns to Haddonfield, killing a mechanic for his coveralls, as well as stealing his white mask, a rope, and knives from a local hardware store.
Yeah.
And we didn't talk about this. We talked about it before, but this is what I liked about Rob Zombie's version of Halloween.
Right.
He got a backstory. He got a reason.
Yeah.
To
we just
why he
talked
was
about
killing.
This. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't really care. I
Yeah.
like the meh. I just, like we said, yeah, sometimes I just like, he kills because that's just who he is. I'm like, okay, I can fuck with that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
There's no reason.
I like the backstory. I like because
Sure.
he really was. He was a bullied, made fun of
Course.
kid, a little off. Yeah, like he
Yeah.
just kind of stopped caring after that. And he had the mask thing,
Right.
which again was a
exactly.
great character plot point.
Yeah.
But that's a remake. We already talked about that one.
Yep. We sure did. Go listen to it. It's good.
Yes, it is really good. Long but good.
Yep. That's what she said.
Oh, have another beer. The next day on Halloween, high school student Laurie Strode drops off a key at the still unoccupied and dilapidated Myers home her father's trying to sell. Michael stalks her throughout the day, and she notices, but her friends Annie Brackett and Linda Vanderklok dismiss her concerns.
Yep.
Loomis arrives in Hanfield in search of Michael, and finds Judith's tombstone missing from the local cemetery.
Oh, those kids.
Yeah. He meets with Annie's father, Sheriff Lee Brackett, and they both investigate Michael's house, where Loomis tells Sheriff Brackett of the danger Michael poses. Also, he ate a dog.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
I think you mean he hugged a dog.
He hugged it while eating it.
To death.
To death. Sheriff Brackett is doubtful of Michael's danger and goes to patrol the streets, while Loomis waits at the house, expecting Michael to return. Like, he's there all night.
Yes.
It's kind of annoying. Like, some kids go there and try and sneak in. He's like speaking from the bushes, "Hey, get your asses out of here!" And they run off screaming. He's like,
yeah, he's like, "Hey," and they're like, "Ah!" I think because he's overhearing their conversation, and he says one of their names or something, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
Let's get the hell out of here. Later that night, Laurie babysits Tommy Doyle while Annie babysits Lindsay Wallace across the street, unaware that Michael has followed them. Michael also kills Wallace's dog. Oh, poor pupper. And again, this goes back to, if there's a dog or an animal in the movie, a horror movie, it's going to die.
I was on Netflix flipping through horror movies, and when I was flipping through, the little clip they played had a dog in it, and I was like, nope. So, lost my view. Yeah. I just can't watch dogs die sometimes. It's just it's too much for my heart.
Mm-hmm. When Annie's boyfriend, Paul, calls her to come and pick him up, she takes Lindsay over to Doyle's house to spend the night with Laurie and Tommy. Also, during this whole, up till now, there's a lot of him just driving around and just stalking. And
it's kind of funny.
It is. Like, he drives by and
he just stares.
Yeah.
It is like creepy mask.
I think it's Linda's like,
yes.
Slow down, you perv, and he just screeches to a halt and just stops. They're like, then he just drives off.
Yeah.
And just walking around like he's in the area. It's weird.
He's watching them all the time.
It's very creepy.
And even when they're driving around, the sheriff's behind them for a bit, but his car is there.
He follows them.
Yes.
He just
you see it the whole time.
Yeah. You always know he's around. You don't really see him do much, though.
Yes.
And then we find out that Annie dropped butter on her clothes, so she strips down to her panties.
To her skivvies.
And just wears a white shirt over top. And going outside, not caring, that's basically, she's just wearing panties and...
Yeah.
Very, very, doesn't care.
And they have a laundry house,
a
house for their laundry.
They have a little, a laundry shack.
Is this a States thing?
Must be.
Because it's nicer there?
I even told you, the front door of the house that Laurie's in, it looks so wide.
Yeah, so big.
They're all fat people.
Yeah,
weird.
they're these are big old colonial houses.
Nice
and
houses.
Maybe it was a style. I remember the first time, I'm from a small town, and for the first time that I saw a double open door,
Ooh.
I was like, oh, those are the rich people. Okay, cool.
Fancy. So, before Annie can leave, Michael, who hid in the back seat of her car, strangles her and slits her throat. Mm-hmm. Soon after, Linda and her boyfriend, Bob Sims, arrive at the Wallace house.
Fucking Bob.
So, I noticed this. We have the subtitles on.
Yeah. And
I caught this, and I had to stop and replay it for you because it threw me off. When they're planning out their activities, they're going bang in someone else's house, which is very weird. They're going to have Annie distract Lindsay.
Yeah.
And then he tears off Linda's clothes. Linda tears off his clothes. And then he says, then we'll tear off Lindsay's clothes. And he laughs and she laughs. Now, I'm wondering.
Help.
He
Call
said
Chris Hansen.
Lindsay was a young, 10, 11-year-old girl.
Very young.
I think he meant Annie.
I hope.
I hope he meant Annie. Because if not, that's a very, very creepy joke.
Yes.
But whatever. He gets his comeuppance later.
Yeah, we didn't
I think it's a Freudian slip. I think he got the characters mixed up. I really do. He must have.
I still don't love it.
Oh well, he does. So, But I never caught that before.
Yeah.
I've seen this movie a couple times. I never caught it till now.
Jeez.
So maybe we should ask someone sometime. If we ever go
Right.
to a horror convention,
Yeah.
we should bring it up and say, what is this? We need
So,
answers.
question.
Yeah. Oh, well, whatever. After having sex, Bob goes downstairs to get a beer for Linda. And Michael
Is that what
stabs
we're
him.
calling it? It was like 15 seconds.
Oh, God, that was bad. And apparently, phone calls makes him go limp.
Yeah. Right,
And then he gets
right.
on top, and then count to 10.
Thrust 4 times. And,
He didn't even thrust.
yeah.
Like, he was a
Movie thrusting.
he's a 3-pump chump.
Ooh.
It's bad.
Right.
So he goes downstairs to get a beer for Linda, and Michael stabs him to death. Michael then poses as Bob in a ghost costume, and confronts
I love
Linda.
this. That's thinking.
Yeah. Who teases him to no effect. Annoyed, Linda calls Lori, but Michael strangles her to death with the telephone cord just as Lori picks up. She's thinking they're having sex.
I was gonna say, because it's like, even the subtitles are like moaning, grunting, moaning. Yeah.
Droning. We forgot to mention when we did the hashtag alive.
Yeah, that came
review,
out a couple days ago.
in the subtitles, when he was using the drone, the subtitle literally said droning.
Droning.
Funny.
Like, it's buzzing.
Yeah. Yeah. Whirring sounds.
Droning.
Droning. Wow.
I love
Okay.
it.
Meanwhile, Loomis discovers a stolen car and begins searching the streets. Suspicious, Laurie goes over to the Wallace house after putting the kids to sleep and finds the bodies of Annie, Bob, and Linda, as well as Judith's headstone in the upstairs bedroom, which is weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's recreating or like in a memorial to his dead sister
Yeah.
to recreate it. I don't know. This is never explained that I know
Right.
of. I could
Yeah.
again, I haven't seen the sequels. They could have talked about it after, but I don't know why he does this.
Yeah. I don't know.
It could be like an ode to him killing her because he's got the headstone on the bed. He's got Annie lying there on her back dead,
Yep.
and everyone else is just kind of crammed away.
Right.
Laurie cowers in the hallway where Michael suddenly appears and attacks her, causing her to fall backwards on the staircase. And she hurts her leg.
Yeah. She does
Laurie
damage.
narrowly escapes and flees back to the Doyle house where she gets Tom to wake up and let her in. And she goes to the
Barely.
neighbor. And she goes to the neighbor. She goes to the neighbor. Bang on the door. Help, help, help. They peek through the window blinds and shut them. And turn
Yeah.
the lights off.
Yeah, they're like, nope, not
And it-
kids on Halloween.
and
They're
she
only up to
gives
no good.
This great kind of defeated scream after,
Yes.
which I love. I think that's the realest part of this whole movie.
But I wonder what would happen because, like, we our work building caught on fire the other day because that's our life, and somebody like it was from the outside, and somebody came in screaming and ranting and raving, and I work in like a not great area of the city, and we were like, oh sure, our building's on fire, whatever, and then we turned around and we're like, oh, our building's actually on fire. So like I wonder, if like appearance does have something to do with the believability of the situation, right?
I think so.
Where like, oh, it's Halloween and those teenagers are up to no good and that kind of stuff,
Yeah. Michael gets in and attacks her again, but she keeps him at bay by stabbing him with a knitting needle. And this is where you knock him down, but he keeps getting back up.
Yes.
She then stabs him with a coat hanger and his own knife, temporarily knocking him out each time. And this whole part I think is really good.
Yep.
Because
I agree.
you get that feeling of I can't escape.
Right.
So she gets him in the neck with a knitting needle, he drops.
Yep.
She runs and hides upstairs in a closet. He breaks through. She gets him in the eye, or close to the eye, with a coat hanger.
Yep.
And then she stabs him in the guts.
Bleh.
And then he drops, and she gets out.
And we're
like-
like screaming at the TV, like, double tap! Like, what are
That-
you doing? Plunge that into his heart!
Exactly. That's what gets me. Like, okay, this guy is trying to kill you. You have two young ones here.
Yes.
You're
Like, finish
without
the job.
without sounding mean here. You're a female. Anything you say, they'll believe you. Especially if he's already killed a few people.
Fair.
Like how did he get that knife laying down into his neck? He
Also,
slipped.
like, he's obviously an escaped convict or
Exactly.
something. You know what I mean? Like,
It's not like, she sought him out, like, I'm going to get him.
yes.
This was purely self-defense.
Right.
Like you said, double tap. Make sure he's down.
Always.
Incapacitate.
Yeah.
Kill him.
Yes.
I'm
Tie him up.
serious.
Don't, like, grab the knife, stab him, and then put the knife beside him. It's like, oh, here's for later.
She does. She just,
Yes.
like she, the first time she stabs him, she gets a knife from him with
Yeah.
the knitting needle,
Right.
and just puts on the floor. Like,
Yeah.
ew, gross. No, that is your weapon. You are using it for protection,
Yes.
You're not going to become like, you're not going to put the mask on, do it yourself.
Right.
Maybe. It's and this is where some of like the writing gets a little, come on.
Right.
Like, come on. It's, but also
Yeah.
you don't know this guy's super resilient.
Exactly.
So she then sends Tommy and Lindsay to go to a neighbor's house down the street and have them call the police.
Right.
Smart.
Yep.
She tried to call earlier, but the phone line was dead.
Yeah.
So
He be
again,
cutting wires, cutting lines.
he's sneaky. He's smart.
Sneaky.
Sneaky smarty. Loomis sees Tommy and Lindsay running from the house and goes to investigate, finding Michael and Laurie fighting upstairs. Because he wakes up, wakes up
Yep.
and gets her in the Bart choking, or Homer choking Bart stance. Like he's trying to choke her out. And Laurie rips off Michael's mask off,
Yeah, and he's
making
like,
him
"Whoa,
hesitate
what the fuck?"
and put it back on. And never see him without the mask.
Yeah.
Which
For like a split second.
is not very much in the series, I think.
No.
Loomis shoots Michael 6 times, knocking him off the balcony. Agreeing with Laurie that Michael is the boogeyman, Loomis walks to the balcony and looks down to see that Michael has vanished. Unsurprised,
Dun, dun, dun.
he stares off into the night as Laurie begins to sob. Michael's breathing is heard during a montage of locations he had recently been in, indicating he could be anywhere. The end, until part 2.
Yay!
Which basically picks up like right after.
Interesting. Okay.
Another thing I didn't get to talk about was they keep referring to him as the boogeyman.
yes.
And I love that.
Me too.
It's the best way for a young kid to rationalize in his
I
head
was gonna say.
what's going on.
Yeah. To make real what he's feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun movie.
And even at the end, Laurie said, that was the boogeyman. And everyone
Right.
gets that mixed up. They think
Yep.
she asked him, was that the boogeyman?
Yeah.
She's saying it was the boogeyman.
Yes.
And Loomis is like, yep, it was.
Yeah.
I'm
You're right.
sorry to say. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's bad.
Yeah. He did bads.
He did bad. He did the stabs.
Yeah.
So, how would you rate this movie?
You know, just for nostalgia and music, probably a 4. Like, I think it's one of those movies that everybody has to see, everybody has to know, like, and everybody knows Michael Myers. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, oh
Like,
yeah.
it's just such a classic, and it's enjoyable. Every time I've watched it, this is my 3rd or 4th time watching it, every time I've watched it, I've enjoyed it. And, like, to watch something that many times and still enjoy it, and still, pick up quotes and stuff, it's fun.
The term timeless classic
100%.
could use here because
Yes.
it's really good.
It is.
Is it as scary as some of the other ones? No.
No.
But for like a young kid, like
Right.
someone between 15 and up,
Yep.
this would be a scary movie.
Absolutely.
This would get them, even 13-ish.
Yeah.
The language is good, a bit of boobs, but that's it. There's
Yeah.
some very bad sex.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's very brief sex.
Yes.
I'd say.
If you'd even call it that.
Yeah.
I would call it unsatisfying penetration if I had to give it a name, but,
Well, she apparently she was liking it because she was like, "Oh my god, that's so good."
that was not a woman enjoying it.
After
That was
she,
a fake. That was a fake. Are we starting fake Horr-Gasm month tomorrow?
Oh my god, we are too. That's hilarious. Okay,
Yep. Well, what would you rate it?
it's a 4.
Right?
A 4. When I first saw this, again, I wasn't scared.
Yep.
Some of the kills were pretty good.
Right.
The music is awesome.
Yes.
Like, it's got one of the most well-known themes
Mm-hmm.
out there. Friday the 13th doesn't have a theme like that.
Right.
Freddy Krueger or the Nightmare on Elm Street, not a theme like that.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween, if anyone hears that theme, they know right away.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, it's like
It's
the
iconic.
song.
It is totally iconic.
Yes.
The only one I think that would similar to it would be, I think, The Exorcist.
Yeah.
I think The Exorcist thing would be something similar. Not as well known, but people hear it, it's like, oh, Exorcist.
Yes. Yeah,
Acting
I
was
agree.
great. This was, I think, Jimmy Lee Curtis was one of her first movies, if not
Yes.
the first. She did great.
Amazing.
She came from horror royalty. Like, her mom was the first Scream Queen.
Yep.
She became a Scream Queen that way.
Yep.
And she's been like horrors nonstop. And she's been part of this franchise since,
Yes.
she's still doing it.
Yes.
Which is good for her.
It's awesome. It pays the bills. You know what I mean? Like, she's going to be raking in those royalties for the rest of her life.
I'm sure she's...
Right.
Money is no issue for her.
No. And, yeah, she's just thriving and surviving.
Yeah.
It's great, yeah.
And she's been in like a bunch of great other movies too.
Right? Oh
True
my
Lies.
God. I was just going to say True Lies.
I love True Lies. It's such a good movie.
Freaky Friday. I love Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, my
But yeah,
God.
I think this is a great movie.
It's iconic. It's classic. It's enjoyable. It's a must watch.
I agree. And everyone who says that this is one of the best of all time is they're not wrong.
Yep.
Nowadays, with some of the scares in it, it's tame actually compared to other movies right now.
I agree.
But
But still fun.
it's still a good movie.
Definitely. And what would you think would be Ichabod's Kill of the Flick?
Ichabod's Kill the Flick.
Yeah.
I think it's Bob's death.
It has to be, which I don't think we really went into detail about.
No, we'll do it right now.
Do it.
When Bob's out there getting the beer and all that in someone else's house, after having sex in someone else's house, wearing not his robe,
Yeah, someone else's robe.
which I think is just hilarious. Michael shows up and grabs him by the throat,
Yes.
and for being such a thin guy, because we didn't really talk about his physique, Michael Myers is
He's a
tall,
beanpole.
but he's thin.
Yeah.
He can lift him up with one hand.
Yes.
Lifts up Bob, who's a pretty, not chunky, but he's not a string bean.
No.
Lifts him up with one hand and stabs him
Yes.
in the chest with a knife and
With
lets go.
enough force.
And he just hangs there. And he
Ugh.
just looks and inspects. He's like, look, head tilt left or
Yeah.
right, straight, head tilt left, straight. He's like, nice.
Yeah. Good for me.
I like that. I did a good.
I did a good thing today.
And he's a good 1.5 feet off the ground.
Yes. Yeah, like he's hanging there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like even when he's strangling Annie,
Yes.
he ends up having to slit her throat, but still he strangles her.
Yes,
So
exactly.
he's definitely got some good strength in his hands.
He does. I wonder if he's single.
He must be. He must be.
Just kidding, Mom. Disregard. Don't worry about it.
No, I think this is a great kill. They're one of the
Yes.
better kills besides strangling.
Yeah,
There's really nothing else.
I was gonna say there's not a lot else. It's like I kind of enjoy all the abuse, I guess, that Michael gets. Like he gets a sewing needle to the neck, and then he gets a hanger to the eye, and then he gets a stab to the chest.
And you can see his eye is kind of screwed up, but it's
Yes.
not bloody.
No.
Like he came out a lot worse in the remake.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Oh no, I haven't seen the remake. Are we talking about the
We're talking
Rob
about
Zombie
Zombie.
one?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I don't want to talk about something I haven't seen.
I don't think.
Yeah, that
I'm trying to
remake.
think. I'm trying to think. The newest one out. I don't think he took much damage either.
Okay.
There's a lot of him doing attacking and people doing the dying.
Right.
Yeah.
Is the Rob Zombie one the one where he takes her to that like little shacky thing?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, the shack. He goes to like the. That's the second one.
Okay.
Part 2, he takes
See,
to
we watched
the
them
shack.
one after another, and they happened concurrently, so I don't like
Yeah.
remember. Like I can't distinguish between the two movies.
I can because I've seen the first one
Sure.
a lot more than the second one.
Interesting. That's
And
fair.
and a lot of people don't like it because they gave him a backstory.
Yeah, we've talked about this when we reviewed it. It's I liked the first one. The second one I think got a little like
Yeah.
imaginative.
Little out
I
there.
don't know. Yeah, a little imaginative.
I think he talks too in the second one,
He
which
does,
again
yeah.
people were like, he doesn't speak. I'm like, oh, that's true.
It's like, well, he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm like, Myers, he's not mute anymore.
Yeah.
God.
But this has been our annual Halloween special, number 2.
Woo!
And to all our listeners, all our lovely victim out there, hope you had a great, safe Halloween.
Yes.
To all our young victims out there, hope you got lots of candy
Yes.
and saw all the great costumes.
I hope you all avoided Miss Rona. She's sad right now, so let's just keep her at bay,
right.
but still eat a lot of candy.
Oh, the candy. And even a little spoiler, but Friday the 13th is coming up.
Ooh.
And there might be another Friday the 13th special.
I was gonna say, speaking of Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Because we did last year we did Friday the 13th, and I think it's coming up again this November. Keep an eye out for that.
Yes. But thank you so much for joining us for this special episode. This episode was still brought to you by our executive producer, Ichabod. We hope you enjoyed your Horr-Gasm as much as we did. Please don't forget to rate, download, and subscribe. Also, like and follow us on Facebook at Horr-Gasm Podcast, Instagram at Horr-Gasm, Twitter at Gasm Horror, and YouTube at the Horr-Gasm Podcast. If you have a movie you'd like us to review, this is the best way to let us know. We hope to see you again next week, because we have such sights to show you. Plenty of Horr-Gasms for you to experience. Bye!